Welcome to the latest update focused on the Pittsburgh Steelers. Today, we've got a slew of exciting news and rumors surrounding the team. So let's dive right in and explore what's happening. We're going to kick things off with a discussion about the 4 NFL draft prospects that the Steelers hosted for interviews earlier today. This is a big deal because the draft is always a major event for the team, and the players they choose can help shape the future of Pittsburgh's roster. After we break down those prospects, we'll turn our attention to a quarterback that was once on the Steelers' radar, but has now become unavailable. And then, to wrap up this segment, we'll discuss the possibility of the Steelers being featured on HBO's Hard Knocks again in 2025, especially with some recent rule changes from the NFL that might make this situation a real possibility. The first thing we need to talk about is the 4 athletes who visited the Steelers' facilities today. These athletes, each with unique skill sets, could have a huge impact on the team's future. The first player to mention is a running back from the University of Iowa. This player has made quite an impression, and his performance at the Combine, along with his tape, has earned him a lot of attention. His combination of size, vision, and speed makes him a strong contender for a spot on the team. The next prospect is a wide receiver from Texas, who is considered one of the top options for the first round of the draft. He's known for his incredible speed and ability to make plays at all levels of the field. It's no wonder the Steelers would be interested in such a talented player who could add another dimension to their offense. After that, we have a cornerback from Florida State, a player who stands out for his physical style of play and ability to cover ground quickly. His combined numbers and game film speak for themselves, and there's no question that he could be a valuable addition to Pittsburgh's defense. Finally, we have a local prospect, a tight end from the University of Pittsburgh. He's an intriguing option, especially considering that he doesn't count against the 30-visit limit for the draft. Being local, he's someone the Steelers can easily evaluate, and his performance at the college level makes him someone worth keeping an eye on. Among these players, the cornerback from Florida State really stands out. He's been one of the most talked-about prospects during this draft cycle, and his tape shows just why. He's a physical, aggressive player who excels at disrupting the opposing offense. Meanwhile, the tight end from the University of Pittsburgh doesn't count against the 30-visit limit, which is an interesting factor. As we look at the other visits that have been conducted, we see that the Steelers have already hosted 2 quarterbacks, 6 running backs, and 4 wide receivers. That tells us that they are clearly focusing on those positions as they prepare for the draft. Along with those visits, there's been some interest in defensive line prospects, with 2 defensive tackles having visited, along with 2 interior defensive linemen. But it's the cornerback from Florida State who really seems to be getting the most attention right now. And there's no doubt that he's one of the top defensive players in this class. Now, let's dive deeper into the wide receiver from Texas. This player is a standout prospect, and it's clear that the Steelers have taken a serious interest in him. He's the only wide receiver that has had a formal meeting with the team and also visited as part of the 30-player limit. This is a big deal because it shows how much the Steelers are valuing him. The general manager and head coach were both present during his pro day, and they've seen firsthand what he can do on the field. He's the only player who's checked all 3 boxes: a formal meeting, a visit that counts against the 30-player limit, and a personal presence at his pro day. That's a huge indication that the Steelers are very high on him. He's been one of the fastest players in this draft class, running a 4.29-second 40-yard dash at the Combine. That's the fastest time among wide receivers, and it's a big part of why he's so highly regarded. But speed isn't the only thing he brings to the table. He's also a great route runner with excellent hands and the ability to track the ball deep downfield. If the Steelers were to draft him, he could be used as a true Z receiver, a role that requires a player to make quick, explosive plays down the field. The team would likely pair him with a big-bodied X receiver to provide balance on the outside. But if they end up selecting him with the 21st overall pick, it's worth noting that they could be looking to trade down in the draft in order to acquire more picks. It wouldn't be surprising if the Steelers try to trade down to get a 2nd or 3rd round pick, as they could potentially acquire additional assets and still get a player who could contribute immediately. The wide receiver from Texas is certainly an intriguing prospect, but there are other factors to consider as well. Some reports have suggested that there may be concerns about his commitment and punctuality, which could make him a bit of a risky pick. But if the Steelers feel confident that they can work with him and develop him into a star, then he could be a game changer for the offense. Personally, I think that the Steelers would be lucky to land him, but I'm not sure I'd take a wide receiver in the first round. There are other needs on the team, and I think it might be better to look at those first. Instead of investing a first-round pick in a wide receiver, I'd prefer to focus on strengthening other areas of the team. Moving on, let's talk about the running back from Iowa. This is another player who has really caught the attention of the Steelers. With the running back position being a focus for Pittsburgh this year, it wouldn't be surprising to see the team trade down in the first round and select this player towards the end of the round. He's got the size and speed that the Steelers are looking for in a running back, and his vision and ability to make quick decisions on the field are impressive. He stands at 6 feet 1 inch tall and weighs 202 pounds, which gives him the ideal frame for a starting running back in the NFL. In addition to his physical traits, he's also known for his ball security, having not fumbled once during his last season of college football. That's a huge plus for any coach, especially when you consider that the Steelers value ball protection above all else. They want players who can minimize turnovers, and this running back fits that bill perfectly. He's also a powerful runner who's difficult to bring down once he gets past the line of scrimmage. He's the kind of player who can wear down defenses over the course of a game, and he'd be a perfect fit in the Steelers' offensive system. The only concern with him is that he's somewhat dependent on a specific scheme, which could be a limiting factor. Fortunately for the Steelers, their offensive system, particularly their use of outside zone concepts, is a great match for what this player does best. He's the kind of running back who can thrive in a zone-heavy scheme, making quick cuts and getting upfield. I think he's a perfect fit for what the Steelers are trying to do offensively, and he could be a key contributor for them in the years to come. Now, let's talk about the other potential running back prospects. The Steelers are looking at a number of different players at the position, including some options who might be available in the second or third rounds of the draft. There's a strong chance that they'll focus on defensive tackle, cornerback, or even quarterback if they don't land a standout player at running back in the first round. But one thing's for sure. The Steelers are very serious about upgrading their running back room, and they're going to make sure they get the right player for their system. So what do you think? Would you be happy if the Steelers traded down to select the running back from Iowa at the end of the first round? Or do you think they should go in a different direction? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. It's always great to hear from fellow Steelers fans, and I'm curious to see where you all stand on this. Stay tuned for more updates. And don't forget to like and share this video to help spread the word. The more we grow, the more we can discuss and analyze everything going on with the team. Let's keep the conversation going by diving into some additional updates that are crucial for the Steelers' future. First, I want to address the quarterback situation, particularly a player who has been under the Steelers' radar for a while. There's been a lot of buzz surrounding Joe Milton, the quarterback who recently became unavailable. Initially, he seemed like a potential fit for the Steelers, as the team had shown interest in him for some time. Milton, with his impressive arm strength and physical attributes, had the potential to be a future developmental project for Pittsburgh. His raw talent was undeniable, and he had a lot of upside, but he's no longer an option for the Steelers as he's now part of another team's plans. This shift marks the end of what could have been an intriguing development path for Pittsburgh at the quarterback position. Still, it's a reminder that the quarterback landscape is ever-changing, and there are always opportunities to evaluate new options, even if Milton won't be part of the Steelers' future. With that said, the team remains in a good spot when it comes to quarterbacks. It's clear that Pittsburgh is constantly evaluating different quarterbacks, either through potential trades or keeping a keen eye on the draft. The uncertainty surrounding the quarterback position over the last few seasons has kept the Steelers' decision-makers on their toes. The good news is that they have a solid foundation, and they have invested in finding the right player who can lead the offense in the future. Whether it's through a trade, drafting a potential star, or sticking with their current setup, Pittsburgh will do what it takes to ensure their quarterback room is one they can depend on for years to come. On the subject of quarterback development, there's been some interesting speculation about a potential trade for a quarterback in the near future. There have been rumors circulating that the Steelers could be willing to part with a draft pick for a player with high potential, but who is currently a backup elsewhere. A player like Will Levis comes to mind, a former second-round pick with a big arm and impressive physical traits, but who has yet to fully prove himself at the NFL level. Levis struggled at times during his tenure with the Tennessee Titans, especially behind one of the league's weaker offensive lines. However, his potential is clear, and he could be someone the Steelers are looking at for future development. The fact that he is still on a rookie contract makes him an appealing option, as it would allow the Steelers to develop him without committing a huge financial investment up front. Levis' strong arm and athleticism could thrive under the guidance of a veteran quarterback, and there's no question that he's got the tools to be a starter if given the right coaching and time to develop. The Steelers could potentially trade for Levis or a similar quarterback if they're able to offer a relatively low draft pick, perhaps a sixth-round pick, to acquire him. Given that Levis is still young and hasn't fully realized his potential yet, acquiring him for a modest price could be a smart move for the Steelers, allowing them to add another intriguing prospect to the quarterback room. For a team that has always valued strong quarterback play, it's no surprise that they would be considering all available options to build depth at the position. Now, let's switch gears and talk about another potential shift within the NFL landscape. Recently, the NFL made some notable changes to the participation rules for Hard Knocks, the iconic HBO series that gives fans a behind-the-scenes look at training camp. Under the new rules, the exemption that teams who made the playoffs in the previous 2 years had from being featured on the show has been eliminated. This means that teams like the Steelers, who have made playoff appearances in recent seasons, are now eligible to be selected for Hard Knocks in the future, provided they don't meet certain other criteria that would allow them to opt out. The key factor here is that Hard Knocks will no longer automatically exclude playoff teams, which opens the door for Pittsburgh to be featured on the show. There are, however, some stipulations that could still allow the Steelers to avoid appearing. For one, if the team has a head coach in his first year, they are exempt from being selected for the show. Additionally, if the team has been featured in Hard Knocks in the past 8 years, they are also exempt. The Steelers don't fit either of these criteria, so it's very possible that they could be selected to appear on the show this year. The decision ultimately rests with both the NFL and HBO, but given the attention Pittsburgh has garnered in recent seasons, there's a good chance that the team could be one of the featured franchises this year. For fans, the prospect of seeing the Steelers on Hard Knocks again is a thrilling thought. The behind-the-scenes look at training camp provides a rare glimpse into the team's dynamics, including how coaches prepare for the season and how players battle for roster spots. It's a way to connect with the team in a more personal way, seeing the effort and emotion that goes into preparing for the new season. On the other hand, some fans might be concerned about the potential distractions that could come with being featured on the show. The cameras and attention that come with Hard Knocks can be a lot to handle, and some players and coaches may feel that the additional spotlight could detract from their focus during training camp. It's a balancing act, and while the show is exciting for fans, it does present some challenges for the team. With all this in mind, it's still exciting to think about the possibility of Pittsburgh being featured on Hard Knocks again. The decision will ultimately be made by the NFL and HBO, but if the team is chosen, it will be an opportunity to see the Steelers from a new perspective. It's certainly a unique experience for both fans and players alike, and if it happens, it will provide a fascinating look into what goes on behind closed doors in the run-up to a new NFL season. But before we dive in, don't forget to subscribe to Steelers Nation Central and hit the like button on this video. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on the Pittsburgh Steelers. And don't forget to share your thoughts on the news in the comments below. In the heart of Pittsburgh's sports landscape, rumors are stirring. Tyreek Hill, the NFL's renowned cheetah, could be gearing up to join the Steelers. The wide receiver's explosive career with the Miami Dolphins and his history of electrifying performances have made him one of the league's most sought-after players. But now, as the Steelers' front office is reportedly considering adding him to their already potent offense, fans can't help but wonder, could Hill's speed transform Pittsburgh's playbook in 2024? With an impeccable resume, Hill has solidified himself as one of the NFL's elite receivers. Over the past seasons, he's broken records, including leading the league in receiving yards and touchdowns. His unmatched ability to stretch the field and dominate the deep ball could be exactly what the Steelers' offense needs to take the next step. But what makes this particular rumor even more tantalizing is the timing. As the Steelers look to enhance their offensive game, Hill's possible availability following a frustrating season in Miami could be the golden opportunity Pittsburgh has been waiting for. The Steelers, already known for their strong defense, are now exploring ways to add firepower to their offensive game. Hill's speed and playmaking ability could be a game-changer for quarterback Kenny Pickett and a weapon for offensive coordinator Matt Canada to utilize. The Steelers have been looking for the final piece to unlock their full potential, and Hill could be that missing link. Despite his frustration with the Dolphins after a disappointing season, Hill remains one of the most dynamic players in the league. His elite performances, including his 2023 season where he posted nearly 1,800 receiving yards, have kept him in the conversation as one of the best wideouts in football. If the Steelers can strike a deal, Hill could not only bring speed to Pittsburgh's offense, but also inject some much-needed excitement into the Steelers' playbook. As the offseason unfolds, the question on every fan's mind is whether Hill will make his way to Pittsburgh. While details are still scarce, the very notion of Hill wearing the black and gold has sent shockwaves through the fan base, leaving everyone eagerly awaiting the next chapter in this high-stakes saga. Will the Steelers pull the trigger? Only time will tell, but one thing is for sure. Hill's potential move to Pittsburgh would shake up the entire NFL. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the Pittsburgh Steelers, make sure to subscribe to Steelers Nation Central and give this video a like. We always look forward to hearing your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.